Hi everyone, welcome to week 2 of your Advanced Computers 3 course. As we finish up the first PowerPoint, we're going to be starting with slide 18, and we're going to be talking about inserting media objects. Now, media objects can be a lot of different things. It might be just a picture, it could be some sort of clip art, but it can also be a video, audio file, charts, tables, that type of thing. So we're going to look at all of those different types of media and how to do that. But the one thing I want to caution you about is when you are creating a presentation, is to not overload a particular presentation itself, or even a particular slide with too many charts, tables, things like that. If you put too much in a slide, it can kind of take away from the presentation itself. It can take away from the content so that the people aren't really paying attention. They're kind of looking at all the busyness on the slide. So we have to be kind of judicious in how we insert media objects. What do we want to include? What makes the most sense to go along? Now, a lot of people are visuals. They're visual people, and so when you create a table and you put it into a PowerPoint, it means a lot. It's a lot easier to read and things like that. But again, you just want to be really careful to not put too much in. Now, this one is going to show you how to create a table and actually put it in using a grid. You can also do a table in Excel and copy and paste it into a PowerPoint. So that's another way to do it. It's going to show you how to animate objects. And again, animation is a great tool. It allows you to kind of, decide whether you want it to fade in or fade out, or, maybe slide from the left or slide from the right, things like that. Lots of different things that you can do with it, but be very careful with animation. We don't want too much. If we've got stuff flying in all the time, people are just waiting to see what's going to fly in. They're not necessarily paying attention to the content. So again, just be very careful with that. The same goes with transitioning, so moving from slide to slide. So it's similar to animation, whereas animation is something happening in the slide during the presentation. Transition is going from one slide to the next. How do we want it to happen? Do we want it to just burst in? Do we want it to, again, slide in or slide out? That type of thing. So that's what a transition is all about. Again, you don't want to have too many of these. You don't want to have them all over the board. You want some sort of consistency so as not to take away from the presentation itself. And then, of course, you've got headers and footers and slide numbers and things like that. Dating the presentation, being able to put the, something on each slide. Like for example, we do slides for my work where we have to have the company header on every single slide. So how do you want to do that so that you can put that on every single slide and it'll show you how to do that? Again, we're going to look at navigating, how to go through the slideshow, how to go back if we need to go back to something. We're going to look at how do we zoom in. Sometimes when we have a slideshow and we have a table or a chart, we want to be able to zoom in and focus on a particular piece of that without having to create a whole new slide. So that's another important piece of this. And then, of course, printing. We, in some cases, want some sort of physical handout that our audience can have when we are doing a PowerPoint. Maybe we want to be able to let them take notes on their own handout. So one of the things that you can do is to choose the different type of handout you want. And it'll give you all kinds of different options. Do you want to print the whole slide? Do you want to print it out in an outline format? Do you want to print it in such a manner so that you have slides on one side and lines on the other so they can take notes by each slide? So this little box over here is going to give you all of those different options for printing. So that you can decide what's going to work best for your slides and for your audience. So again, it's just going to depend on what your intent is with this particular presentation. So as you go through this week, if you have any questions, please make sure that you reach out to me, and have a great week.